Hey guys, welcome to Sports Chat with DJ Matt. I'm DJ Matt, and as always, DJ Echoes here.
What up, what up?
Yeah, it's been what? This is 2-3 weeks since you've been here on the show. Uh,
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
yeah, it's been a couple weeks. So what I want to say up top is that we are very close to going back into the station. Very, very close. I'm hoping we can get in next week. Hoping to get in next week. I'm shooting for next Thursday to be the first show back in the station. That's what I'm shooting for next Thursday.
Yeah, because it looked like we were going to be in the station this week, but we got two hurricanes that came through, so kind of can't do that.
2020 happened. That's what happened. Yeah, so we're looking to get into the station next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, or when you're watching this. Well, I'll probably upload it this afternoon actually. So the video will be up now, obviously. But yeah, so next Thursday, show times interesting. Our show times are a little different. We're shooting for 8 a.m. technically, but if we can get in a little earlier than 8, I'm going to shoot for that.
And I think they'll let us get in there and set up before 8. So
Because you have to do logs, you have to do all kind of other stuff. So and so yeah, so we're gonna try to get in a little earlier than 8, but we're gonna shoot for 8 o'clock at least to start. So 8 to 9 is our show time. Hopefully, if I can get it scheduled, but that's what it's.
and we'll post the show here on the YouTube channel after. So
Yeah, the full show will be on YouTube. Since it's like only be like an hour show, I'm like, well, I mean, we could just post the whole show on one thing. Like we don't have to.
yeah, I mean, if we would be doing the hour and a half show, then I can understand why I do clips. But
but it's gonna be a full thing. So that's gonna be next Thursday. And for those videos to be posted, within the 24 hours. So like hopefully by Friday it's all up. So yeah, so that's gonna be next week. The real show will be back, and I'm excited for it because I miss the studio a lot.
yeah, same here.
Yeah, so let's get into some stuff. So all right, the big story today. Well, really, it kind of broke last night. Obviously, everyone is aware of the new police shootings, which is unfortunate, and obviously, it's. I mean, I'm a person that believes that everyone, deserves to live, and anybody who dies, it's sad, So I feel bad, and I don't like it, and it's just I don't know. So the big story is that the Raptors and Boston Celtics are looking to maybe not play game 1 of the second round series tomorrow night or whenever you're watching this, Thursday night. They're looking to maybe not play, kind of protest it in a way. And I mean, like, I totally understand where they're coming from. I really do. It's just you're this far into the bubble. You're this far into the playoffs. You're now in the second round. You're actually the first second round game of the playoffs for anybody because you guys both swept their series. So you guys are the first second round game. I just feel like, you're this far into it. To me, I think you should just continue playing. But obviously, if you want to speak out in your interviews, and that's fine with me. But to cancel a whole game and potentially, if enough teams do it, cancel the whole playoffs. I just think it's a little extreme right now. I want him to keep playing, but I totally understand. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is where I sit on it. Not getting too much into the details of the shooting, but talking mainly about the sport. I would understand more if the guy who got shot over the weekend would be a relative of somebody who plays on either of these teams. That would be a different story, if this was Jason Tatum's cousin or something. That would be a completely different story. I would understand him not wanting to play, or the teammates of the Celtics not wanting, or even the Raptors saying, hey, you know what, out of respect for Jason Tatum, we want to postpone this game. But as far as I'm aware, nobody that's on either of the teams are related to this man. His name is Jacob Blake. As far as I'm aware, none of them are related to him. And quite frankly, we in the NBA, we have a lot of, Black Lives Matter is on the court. They are able to put stuff on the back of their jerseys. They are doing multiple things for what's going on right now. So I think in that aspect, there is enough that they are doing, and they're continually talking about it in their post-game interviews. So my thing is like, hey, this is your job. You're getting paid to do this. You're getting paid a ridiculous amount of money to be doing this right now. And I think, most people don't get to call into work and say, hey, this guy that I've never met in my life just got shot over the weekend. Like, can I not come in today? Like, that doesn't happen at most places of work. I mean, I don't know any place of work that I would get away with doing that, and my boss being okay with it. That's just me. And at the end of the day, like, this is a job for these people. It may not be their only job. Maybe they have ventures outside of the NBA, but this is a job for them. I don't know. That's just where I stand on it. Like this is your job. If it was a relative, that's different. But still, you got to go out there and you got to do. I mean, look at football players. There have been many times where a football player's relative has, died, and they still play. They still play that game. If you truly want to honor this person's memory, you play.
I get what you're saying. I kind of agree with that. That's a good point. The thing I want to bring up is that I know like a couple of days ago, like the whole Luka Doncic and Montrezl Harrell thing where he called him a BA white boy and all that stuff, and that was like a big thing. And at the end, the next day, they kind of hugged it out, kind of like, no hard feelings type of thing. It's sports, trash talk happens, I think, that's to me what the NBA right now should be, is hope of that. We have this league where we have players from around the world playing together. Although they're playing against each other, they're still technically playing together for one mission, and I think it's just a good symbol, a good reminder of that, we can work together. And I think having the NBA and the game still go on and showing that every night with the messages on the back of their jerseys and on the courts and stuff, and then speaking in interviews and stuff, I think the NBA has done a great job of getting the message across. I really do. I think the players have done a good job thus far of, laying out with how they feel. And I think the message is being reached across the country and the world. I think everyone's listening to them and hearing them. So I think you kind of hurt that by not playing. Because to me, that's hope. I've seen the NBA play and all these players getting along for the most part. Obviously things get heated in competition and stuff, but that's going to happen. That's sports in general. But at the end of the day, there's no love lost. It's just, hey, we're competitors and we still respect each other and care for each other, right?
Yeah.
I think, to me, that's what the NBA should be right now, and that's what it has been. I mean, so that's why I want them to keep playing, because I think they're doing that so well. Every sports league, for that matter, like NFL, same thing. White and black players are together. Baseball, same thing. It's every sports league has a good mixture of different races and creeds and backgrounds, and they all play together. And that's hope. That's what we're striving for, right? Everyone being together.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So let's get into the actual playoff talk then. So 2 head coach firings, other than the Pelicans one, which I did the video on, which you can go check that out, and I'll get your thoughts on that too coming up. But the other head coaching firings I want to get to, Brett Brown, I figured he was gone. 76ers got swept by the Celtics. Ben Simmons was obviously out, whatever. So Brett Brown's out. But the one that surprised me today, Nate McMillan from the Pacers, who just signed a 1-year extension like a couple days ago, is now fired. I'm shocked by that news.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think maybe if they would have got swept by the Heat, it would be a different story, especially with how good they were doing leading up to the playoffs. They were doing in the exhibition games, as you would want to call it, with TJ Warren surprising everybody, just coming out of nowhere. I understand a little more that they got swept, but as you said, that is kind of confusing how he signed the extension, and then a couple of days later, they're like, yeah, we're going to let him go.
The thing is, like, okay, so Miami is not a pushover team. Like, Indiana was the 4 seed, Miami is the 5 seed. But Miami is better than a 5 seed. Like, people are looking at Miami as a team that, in the next series when the Bucks, finish off the Magic, it's going to be Heat and Bucks in the second round. They're saying Heat has a great chance of knocking off the Bucks if any team was going to do it. So you're looking at a team that can potentially knock off the title favorites right now. So, I mean, and Sabonis didn't play, I don't think either, right?
No, because I think, was it him? Was it him that somebody left?
Oladipo's It might have been Sabonis that left. Oladipo's been in and out of the lineup. Sabonis, I don't think Sabonis has really been in the. I haven't really watched any of the games, the Pacers Heat games. I haven't really seen, so I don't know who's on the court. But I know that T.J. Warren's really like the main guy right now, and Oladipo's in and out. So I think, and the fact that they had injuries throughout the whole year, and the fact that they were still the 4 seed, I think that shows a lot of good coaching. Like Nick McMillan to me looks like a good coach. So I don't understand why.
Come to New Orleans.
I was thinking that. And there was in that video too, I missed the name. I missed Kenny Atkinson. I was like, if we could get Kenny Atkinson in New Orleans, I wouldn't mind that either. But anyway, so what's your thoughts on like the Pelicans? Obviously, you got to get your thoughts on the Pelicans coaching, but the other coaching firings in general.
Well, I was along with you at the beginning of the season whenever we were somebody was like fired Gentry, and I was like, oh, let's give him some time. But I think the way that he was playing the team, I kind of agree with what you were saying. Like, we need somebody who has a different play style with a very young core. Unfortunately, it seems like we're listening to Lonzo trade talks.
Yeah.
So I'm not thrilled about that. Of course, if we can get something really good in return, then I got to see what the trade package is.
Yeah, it depends on the
But
trade.
I don't know. I would like to keep Lonzo. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that Lonzo needs to be like straight up lobber, but I mean, you want to look at the 2014, that time the Clippers, why are they so good? Because they had Chris Paul lobbing it up to Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. They weren't called Lob City for nothing. They weren't called Lob City for nothing, and a big part of that success was Chris Paul. And I think Lonzo Ball, yeah, he definitely underperformed in the playoff, the bubble, not the playoffs, the playoffs, the bubble. But again, you gotta give him some time because that's the first time he's been in the playoffs. They were definitely in the hunt for the playoffs throughout the whole bubble. And I don't know, I would like to keep what we have. Of course, we didn't get a good draft pick, though. I'm not gonna sit here and complain because we got the number 1 draft pick last year. We got Zion. Yeah, me personally, going into this offseason as the Pelicans, I would just keep what we have, try to keep as much as we have. And if we are going to give up something, I would want to get something good in return. Like, I wouldn't pull a Suns and get rid of TJ Warren for cash considerations, like I wouldn't make a move like that. If we are going to trade Lonzo Ball, apparently the Knicks are someone who are a team who want Lonzo Ball. They've come forward, but they've had a couple of teams that have come forward and said that they want Lonzo Ball. Whoever wants Lonzo Ball, I would say we need to get, good compensation for him.
I saw something where it was like, I don't know if it was a rumor or just saw something of just a hypothetical. If we trade Lonzo to the Knicks, if we can get RJ Barrett back, pair RJ and Zion, because obviously they're like best friends almost, because they played at Duke together. I wouldn't mind that.
No, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't see the Knicks giving up RJ Barrett for Lonzo.
No.
Especially since they didn't walk away with, the first overall pick. They got the 8th. So would be the Knicks.
Would be the Knicks. No, but I think my video that I said last week is that I wouldn't make too much roster changes. Like I said, I want to get the center that scores, but I said that I also want to keep Favors around to come off the bench. Because I think Favors is more of a bench player than a starter. I would let go of Okafor. I would, because I like him, but I feel like you can't have 4 or 5 centers on one team. That's ridiculous.
No.
So I think you can let go of him. If you let go of anybody, and it's not that he's not a good player. It's just that I feel like you can get somebody better. Like Jackson Hayes is going to be like the 3rd string, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's going to develop into, I just think we need a better center. And I would keep Favors on the team. And Lonzo, like I said, with Lonzo, I want Lonzo on the team. But if we can find a trade that is beneficial to us and a great player comes to our, then I'd be
okay. And honestly, the other thing that I would do is I would make sure to lock up Brandon Ingram.
Well, that's happening. We're not letting Brandon Ingram go.
I would make sure that we lock him up. Don't let him go anywhere. If it takes the max, then give him the max.
He's getting the max. He's getting the max from somebody. Hopefully,
it's got to be us. It's got to be us because, listen, I'll say this: if it was not for Brandon Ingram, we would not have been in playoff contention. Straight up.
Real talk.
So
he's my pick for most improved player, hands down. I mean, Bam Adebayo is amazing. I love Bam, but Brandon Ingram, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I brought up too. I think in the video was that they're still getting better. Like Lonzo has some levels he's still got to get to. Brandon Ingram still has some levels he's going to get to. Like they're not done improving. So
And
Brandon
I mean,
Ingram,
Zion has plays room to improve too. I mean, he's a rookie, you know.
right? So this team is still young and it's still improving. So I would not blow this team up right now, obviously, and they're not going to. But I think Lonzo's an intricate part of the team right now, the team's core. And
Yeah,
Lonzo's not a scoring point guard. Let's get out of that. He's never going to be a scoring point guard.
well,
But
there's nothing wrong with that.
if he can be an average point guard in terms of he can get us maybe like 12, 13 points a game, something like that, shoot the three a little bit more effectively, which I think he can, then he's gonna get triple doubles. Like he's a triple double machine almost. So like I'm happy with Zion. I mean, with Lonzo's progress this year. I really am. So I just think we need to find a coach that slows it down a little bit. We were going too fast. To me, that was our biggest problem. We were too fast, and our defense couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
So let's get to the Sixers since Brett Brown is now gone. I saw that coming. The 76ers are a mess. If you remember when the season first started, my picks for the finals were Clippers 76ers because I was thinking 76ers were going to be like a force. But they just fell. They're falling apart. And look, everyone is hating on Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid played pretty well in the playoff series. Like he wasn't bad. He just didn't have Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. I mean, I don't like Tobias Harris that much. I would have rather them keep Jimmy Butler. I made that argument too. Like Jimmy Butler would have been better than Tobias Harris, but Jimmy Butler didn't want to be there because 76ers, like they just don't care about winning, I guess, or it doesn't seem that way. And that's why Jimmy Butler went to Miami. So they're a mess. And the thing is, Ben Simmons needs to shoot the three. And the frustrating thing about that is that he's made a 3-pointer in the NBA. He's made a couple of them, not a lot, but he's made like 2 or 3 of them, right? So if you do it once, you can do it more times. The frustrating thing is we know he can do it. Like we've seen him do it, so just do it more, right? But he doesn't take shots. It's that's what's frustrating about it.
Yeah, I think the problem is that they built wrong. Um, I don't know. I mean, there are people saying that if the 76ers want to continue, it'd have to either be Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Like, I just don't know what the 76ers are gonna do. Like, I don't see them being able to maintain the way that they are right now with the amount of money they're paying both Tobias Harris and Al Horford. I think that picking up Al Horford was not a good decision. Of course, if it was up to me, I would have cut Jimmy Butler because I think Jimmy Butler was way better. But obviously, Jimmy Butler did not want to be there. And I mean, Jimmy Butler was right all along. I mean, look at where the Minnesota Timberwolves are. Look at where the Philadelphia 76ers are, and the Heat are being touted right now as the team that could beat the Bucks. Like, Jimmy Butler played his hand right, honestly.
He did. The thing with Jimmy Butler is the point that I like to bring up is that Jimmy Butler in his early years in Chicago, he had Derrick Rose, who was MVP Derrick Rose. He had Joakim Noah, who was still like really good. They were making conference finals. They were making deep playoff runs. So Jimmy Butler, when he leaves Chicago, goes to Minnesota, he's pairing up with Karl-Anthony Towns, who really is a great player. But that organization is just not in the win now mode. He's coming off a franchise that was winning for the most part, and he goes to a franchise that doesn't value winning. So he gets frustrated there, goes to Philly thinking, all right, you have Joel Embiid, who's been a good player, Ben Simmons, who's a good player. We got good pieces. We got J.J. Redick. We have a pretty good coach. Brett Brown's a good coach, but he's not a great coach. He's a good coach. So you're thinking, okay, we can make a run in the East. They don't. And I encourage you guys to watch the J.J. Redick podcast when you talk to Jimmy Butler about it because, like, because obviously J.J. left in free agency too to come to New Orleans out of Philadelphia. So they talked about some of the dysfunction within the front office. And it's very fascinating the fact that they really didn't value winning. Like they didn't value the things you think a team should value. So that's why Jimmy Butler got frustrated and he did the sign and trade with Miami, which was smart because he's now with a franchise in Miami that has a winning culture, that values winning. You know, Pat Riley, one of the biggest figures in basketball, values winning. Eric Spoelstra, coach, has been there since LeBron and Wade days, the big three. They value winning, and they're a team that, you know, if they get Giannis next year or they get another superstar, they're finals contenders. Like, boom, you know. So 76ers just got to work on their priorities. To me, that's their problem. They don't have their priorities straight.
Yeah, I agree. But 76ers, I could see them taking a big falling off next season.
Yeah. Now, let me throw this at you. I noticed it probably won't happen, but this is interesting. What if we did a package? Let's say we gave up the 13th pick and Lonzo for Ben Simmons. How would you feel about that trade?
Well, this is the thing. I don't see Philadelphia doing that at all. However,
Hypothetical.
I think that the problem is that while Ben Simmons is a point guard, he plays more like a forward.
Yeah.
And at the forward position, we already have Brandon Ingram and Zion. So now Brandon Ingram is more of a Kevin Durant style, but Ben Simmons and Zion have very similar styles of play. And I think, honestly, we wouldn't be able to have them on the court at the same time.
Okay. That's interesting.
I mean, if we could look, hear me out. If we could get Ben Simmons, do it. Like, if the 76ers are like, yeah, we'll take the 13th pick in Lonzo Ball for Ben, then go for it. But what I'm saying is that I don't know how much of a fit he'll be on the team. Because while he is a point guard, he doesn't play point guard.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like more so for his passing, like kind of has the same kind of type of passing ability as Lonzo is. So you wouldn't miss the lobs and you wouldn't miss the nice passing that Lonzo has. And I think Ben Simmons plays a little bit better defense than Lonzo does. And I think Ben Simmons scores more too. So, but he doesn't do it with shooting. He does it driving to the paint and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of pieces we can trade for. If we're gonna trade Lonzo, we need to get a point guard in return. I think. I don't. Cause who else do we have? Nikhil's not ready to be that starting point guard yet. So so we need to get a point guard in return or something. Cause I wouldn't trade Lonzo other than that. So I'm trying to think of other pieces. Now, obviously Bradley Beal's a name last offseason that I'm sure is gonna probably come up this offseason as well. But I don't know. You would have to probably give up Drew for that, and I don't want to give up Drew.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go with Drew because he's why we ain't play any defense at all. I think honestly Drew's the best defensive guard in the league.
Hands down. So I want to keep Drew as long as we can. I really do. Yeah. I just don't know who else would really be available. I mean, Oladipo would be an interesting choice, but like I said, with that, you might have
that's some injury risk right there.
That and you would have to give up Drew probably.
Yeah.
Because think about it, Indiana has Drew's brothers, Aaron and Justin. So
yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't see us getting a top tier point guard with just Lonzo in the 13th pick because the 13th pick is not good enough, in my opinion, for you to say, here, we'll give you this in Lonzo and you'll give us a top tier point. Like, I just don't see that happen. We're gonna have to give up more.
That's why I'm saying that we need to just keep Lonzo because I don't really see like a trade or something that I would like, other than potentially the Knicks with RJ Barrett. That might be the one that might.
But again,
yeah,
the Knicks are not. I don't think that they're going to give up RJ. Now, I mean, hey, if they want to do it right away.
I mean, we're talking about the Knicks. They do stupid things, so.
I know, but
I don't know.
They make a bunch of trades so they can get the number 1 pick, and then they draft LaMelo, and they have Lonzo, and they can have the Ball brothers.
Oh my God!
They have literally nobody else, but they have the Ball boys. So
the Ball boys.
LeVar would be proud.
Next. All right, well, let's get into some other playoff series, and let's get to the West a little bit. Let's get into Mavericks Clippers. That series has been fun. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Mavs because I loved Luka, and Luka had that great game-winning shot. I lost my mind. I saw that live. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this dude.
Go.
Yeah, but the Clippers are going to win that series. Obviously, last night Paul George finally showed up.
Well, I mean, I think it could go to 7 games, but with Kristaps not playing.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah,
I think if Kristaps Porzingis was playing, it could go to 7 games. But I mean, after last night, they're winning 154 to 111. Like,
I'm saying though, like, you're right. They need Porzingis. If you're going to do 7 games, you need Porzingis. But the biggest difference was Paul George finally hitting shots.
Playing,
that was the biggest thing. He scored like 30. He was the leading scorer, I think. He had 35. Kawhi at like 32 or something. So they combined for like 67 points. Yeah, like the Clippers are gonna win. If those 2 things happen, they're gonna win. So they need Porzingis to bring it to 7. But the fact that they gave the Clippers that much trouble to start out with, I think is good for Dallas' future for next year. So I think Dallas next year is going to be a big problem. Big problem.
Agreed.
And with the Lakers Trailblazer series, that series looked like it was going to go like 7 games, but Lakers are going to probably win that thing with 5.
Yeah, they could win it. They could win it tonight whenever we're filming it.
Yeah.
Because they lead 3-1 right now, and they play at 9 o'clock today.
But yeah, I think the Trailblazers kind of gave up. I think Dame's a little hurt right now. I don't think he's at 100%. So I think that's affecting Trailblazers right now, how competitive they are in the
Yeah,
series.
well, yeah. All of the other series that are going on right now.
Jazz and Nuggets is a good series. I watched that game last night.
Jazz and Nuggets is a good. It seems like they always have good series. Like I feel like it's always the Jazz and Nuggets playing, and it's always a good series. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we consistently get that matchup in playoffs, and it's always a good series. Very good series with both Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell just playing out of their minds right now.
Ridiculous.
Another series that's interesting, we don't know which way it's going to go, is Oklahoma and Houston. That one right now is tied at 2-2.
And Russell Westbrook's not playing for Houston right now.
Exactly.
He's out for injuries.
So there's a chance that Oklahoma could steal this from Houston.
So it's kind of funny. Like I think Houston and Oklahoma City have the same record actually, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. They have like the same record. And
I don't know.
like,
That doesn't matter. I mean, the only record that matters right now is that the series is tied 2-2.
no, I'm just thinking of like the fact that like Houston should be way better than what they are, right? They shouldn't be where they're at right now. And you make the move for Russell Westbrook. How effective of a move was that? And obviously, he's not playing in the series because he's hurt, but just in hindsight, like you're probably in a worse position than you were last year. You know what I'm saying? And like OKC kind of just came out of nowhere because no one expected them to be good. They surprised me. As much as I'm a big Thunder fan, I didn't think they were going to be that good this year.
Right.
But they really surprised everybody, and they could definitely win this series.
Well, they had what, a 0.33 chance? What was that? A 0.33%, whatever it was, to make the playoffs, and then now here they are. Might beat Houston. Might make it to the second round. Yeah. I mean, I think if they make it to the second round, they probably won't make it out. But hey,
off the Rockets,
and I think really what's so good right now with the Thunder is that they have Steven Adams, and Houston really doesn't have an answer to Steven Adams.
Didn't you have like who's my pick for Sixth Man of the Year this year? Dennis Schroeder off the bench. Dude, that dude's great. When he was in Atlanta, he was really good. So I love.
Shea, he's doing really good, and of course Chris Paul is playing really good.
Steven Adams, obviously. Yeah, I mean the Thunder, they have a good team for some. Like, I mean, it's no one thought
for some reason, yeah. And they have all those draft picks, so.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Houston might have screwed themselves, I think, in this whole thing. And this thing too is that if they get swept in the first round, I expect. Well, Mike D'Antoni, this is the last year of his deal, I believe. So either way, he's probably gone. I would think he's gone. Don't come to New Orleans, please. I don't want him in New Orleans. Terrible. He can go to Philly. I can see him in Philly. I think he fits Philly. I don't know.
Go to Philly. Don't come over here. Yeah.
Because he does. That teams don't play defense at all. We need defense.
The only series we didn't talk about is Magic Bucks, but I mean, Bucks are gonna win that.
I thought the Magic were onto something. I was like, oh man, they won that first game. Vucevic even in the losses, he's been playing really well. I'm like, ooh, they might.
Yeah, but it's really just him that's playing well.
The Bucks were a team I was really worried about because I'm like, if the Magic are giving them trouble when they face the Heat, I'm like, the Heat are going to give them loads of trouble, more than the Magic are.
I mean, the Heat will probably still give them trouble, but the Bucks have kind of turned it around. They're starting to click more.
Middleton's starting to come around to a little bit.
Yeah, of course, Giannis is Defensive Player of the Year, playing good.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I don't know who I'm picking for the rest of the way. Like, my predictions were wrong anyway because Philadelphia sucks.
What do you think about Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. He deserves it. He's a great defensive player. Obviously, Rudy Gobert's in it. Anthony Davis is – people are voting for him. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
do you still think he's going to win MVP?
Yeah, he's winning MVP.
Man, MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. So I don't know who's my favorite. I don't trust the Lakers because I think AD the other night was dealing with back spasms. So I'm like, there we go again. AD gonna get hurt again? Oh.
Well, it seems like LeBron is playoff LeBron now, but I don't know. Clippers are playing really well. Who do you think's winning between Utah and Denver?
Well, Utah's up 3-2, right?
3-2 right now, yeah. So they just need to win.
Utah, I think Utah will win that series. As much as I love Denver, I think Utah is going to win it just because they're up 3-2, and I just think Donovan Mitchell is going to go crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Same thing. I don't know. It's so like because they're in the bubble, they're not playing in each other's arenas and stuff. I feel like anybody can win. Like
Yeah, I mean, this is where we stand with the West. Lakers are going to come out. Clippers are probably going to come out, unless for some reason Kristaps is playing, which he's not. So Clippers and Lakers, which no one's surprised about. Jazz are probably going to come out, and then we don't know what the Thunder and Houston.
I don't know either.
And Thunder and the Rockets. So I think Oklahoma could win it, especially the way it's going right now. So if we assume that Oklahoma wins it, that would put it at Thunder, Lakers, Jazz, and Clippers. Honestly, that would go to what, Clippers, Lakers finals probably.
Which was my pick all along anyway.
And as you're saying in that,
But
I don't know if the Lakers are going to beat the Clippers.
I like the Clippers more than any of the other teams in the West right now. Because if Paul George plays like he did the other night, Clippers are not going to go away easily for anybody.
Right.
And like I said, I don't trust the Lakers. I don't trust their supporting cast. Like I said, AD is dealing with back spasms and stuff. I feel like he's going to get hurt at some point. I just foresee it because I'm just so used to it.
As a Pelicans fan, I know what you're talking about.
So, whenever he gets hurt, the Lakers fans are going to be like, oh, and us in the West are like, yeah, how you like that now?
Yeah, y'all should have known that was coming. Like, yeah.
So I like the Clippers right now more than anybody. I think right now in the league to go all the way.
I think what could potentially happen and what I would like to see is a conference finals, Lakers Clippers, and then Bucks Raptors. I would like to see that. As much as I think that the Celtics and Raptors will be really good, I'd like to see the Raptors go to the conference finals just to prove like, hey, Kawhi helped, but
wait. Clippers Raptors finals. And if the Raptors
that would be awesome.
If the Raptors win,
that'd be a crazy story.
Like hate like Kawhi and like Paul George is gonna get, and the fact that you left Toronto and like Toronto just now kicked your butt in the fight. Oh my god, what a
wild!
What a storyline!
That would be wild.
I'm down.
Yeah, I mean there are a couple scenarios that I think could be really good. I mean, you could see another Celtics Lakers finals, which would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks Lakers would also be interesting. You know, Giannis versus LeBron.
Yeah.
I think what happened. And I'm thinking about this. If the Heat beats Giannis, I think Giannis might go to the Heat.
Kevin Durant 2.0, go to the team that just beat
Kevin Durant 2.0. But it's
the Heat are likable. The Warriors really weren't that likable.
Yeah, and also we've already been talking about Giannis potentially going to the Heat. We weren't talking about Kevin Durant leaving to go to the Warriors whenever it happened. That was not a conversation that we were having.
Right.
We're having a conversation about, hey, if Giannis does chip this year, which I think if Giannis wins a chip, he should just stay in Milwaukee. I think if he can win a chip, he should stay in Milwaukee. He should be a guy like Dirk, a guy like Kobe, who just stays in that market regardless of how good the team is doing, stays in there, proves that, you know what, I can win it. And, I mean, we don't want to talk about ring value because I think every ring is valuable, but, like, some are definitely more valuable than others. And Giannis getting it done pretty much by himself in a small market team like Milwaukee is a better story than going to Miami with Jimmy Butler, with Bam, with Tyler Hero, with all the people that they have. Plus, you add Giannis. Like, that's just – I mean, who's supposed to contend with that? You know?
I don't know. Yeah, it's the thing is there's no loyalty in the NBA anymore except for Damian Lillard. He's the only loyal guy left, I guess. Which good for him, I guess. But I mean,
I could see Luka being pretty loyal to the Mavericks.
Luka's the new Dirk in terms of like how he's valued in Dallas because he's a foreign player coming to the league. You know, Dirk was foreign, and Dirk only won one championship in Dallas. By the way, like he didn't go on like a dynasty or nothing. Like
yeah, but I mean, he's gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. You know.
Oh yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And Luka's to me that type of guy. I'm telling you right now, like Porzingis and Luka, if they somehow, some way get another star in there. Ooh, I like Dallas.
Who do you think right now would fit really well on the Mavs? What star would fit really well?
So you wouldn't want to. Porzingis is a center. I'm assuming. So I wouldn't get a center.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Luka's like a mix between point and shooting guard. So I guess it really doesn't matter at that point. Who would I want? I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. That's a kind of mean.
It could be a guy like Bradley Beal. Maybe he could, be added to the
Booker would be
Mavs.
interesting.
Booker.
I
Well,
think
that
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Minnesota doesn't trade that number 1 pick to Phoenix for Devin Booker, I feel like they're stupid. That's exactly what they should do.
yeah.
Offer it.
Honestly,
At least offer
but
it.
would the Suns give up Devin Booker though?
That's the thing. Will the Suns be willing?
Because you just look at they just went undefeated in the bubble.
Yeah, Devin Booker went off, no doubt.
If the Suns would have sucked in the bubble, that's a different story. But they just went undefeated and almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. This offseason is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah.
Not as interesting as last year, but still pretty interesting. They got some moves to be made.
I think this year will still definitely be interesting, especially because whoever wins the finals will also decide some stuff in free agency.
It's a huge finals. And with a very weak draft this year, I expect a lot of trades on draft night. I expect some moves to be made that we probably don't even know about. I think there's gonna be some moves that are gonna happen that we're gonna be like, whoa, they made that move. Wow. I expect some moves with Chicago. I expect maybe Zach LaVine or Lauri Markkanen, one of those guys to be moved. Some of those type of moves, right? So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the Suns giving up Devin Booker for the first overall pick because there's nobody really to replace Devin Booker because it looks like the top prospect is Anthony Edwards, right? And he's more of a forward. Or James Wiseman too. But they're both like big forward center guys.
This is the crazy thing about this draft. There's no clear-cut number one guy. And it's like which position do you value most? Which position do you need the most? That's who you're going to target. So
me personally, I don't see LaMelo going first right now. I see either Anthony Edwards or James Wiseman going first.
Mm-hmm.
So Minnesota is not a team that is really in need of a big guy, because they have Karl Anthony Towns. Of course, another big guy wouldn't help, but it's like, what do you want? You want more of a small forward, more of a something like that.
A backcourt with D'Angelo Russell and LaMelo Ball? Who knows?
Would be interesting, but the thing is right now LaMelo Ball is a high risk, high reward player. He's not a put him on a team and he's going to do well.
Well, that's the thing. Do you think let's say Minnesota does draft LaMelo Ball with number 1 pick, do you think they go around and maybe just say, hey, we'll give you LaMelo Ball for Devin Booker? Do you think that?
Well, I don't know, and this is the thing because me as a franchise, I would rather the first overall pick than LaMelo Ball. Because if I get the first overall pick and I still end up wanting LaMelo Ball, I can still make that decision. Right. But if I don't want LaMelo Ball and I'm like, I think I want Anthony Edwards or I want James Wiseman, then you can make that decision. But if Minnesota drafts and then they say, hey, we'll give you LaMelo Ball for Devin Booker, it's like, well, I'm limited in my options now. So I think Minnesota could get away with shopping the number 1 overall pick. But yeah, they would have to get something good in return. If not, I could see them drafting either James Wiseman or anything Edwards. I don't see LaMelo going.
I see Golden State trading number 2 pick. The one thing I don't want to happen is for Giannis to go to Golden State. That's the only place I'm like, hands off, don't go there.
Well, and Giannis is very likable right now. Giannis is very likable. Guaranteed if he goes to the Warrior, all that in the trash.
You hate it. Dude, I'm gonna hate him. I'm seriously gonna hate him.
Because think about this, right? Think about this. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Giannis. It's just as bad, if not worse, with Giannis because think about it. Kevin Durant was a shooter, so he was shooting with Stephen Clay. But now instead of having a shooter, you've got a guy that can dominate the paint.
Yeah. See this if I'm Milwaukee, if Golden State's offering you a trade for number 2 pick, I'm taking before I give them Giannis, I'm taking the number 2 pick. I'm taking Clay. I'm taking Draymond. I'm trying to make them as bare as possible. Trying to
And
take
I mean, look, this is the thing.
because like
Their rookie, Eric Pascal, right? He plays center. He's been doing so this would be the starting lineup. Point guard, Steph Curry. Shooting guard, Klay Thompson. Small forward, Draymond Green. Power forward, Giannis. And then center, Eric. Like, what?
regardless of what Golden State does with the pick or whatnot, they're gonna be good next year. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be healthy next year. They're gonna be a team to watch out for next year. So if they add
Honestly,
Giannis to it, it's over.
with the number 2 pick, if I was Golden State, I would just keep it. And I would either draft James Wiseman or Anthony Edwards, whichever one is there.
Mm-hmm.
I would draft because honestly, with their lineup, all they're missing is a power forward. All they're missing is the forward, really. And both the top 2 picks, they're both 4 players. They can both play the 4. So I would honestly draft one of them because I mean, there's a good chance that Giannis doesn't even leave Milwaukee. Giannis is not guaranteed. Those guys, you have the number 2 over pick. Those guys are guaranteed to you. Yeah. So I would keep the draft pick, but that's just me.
I just don't want Giannis to go to State. Giannis, go to any team. I don't even care if Giannis goes to the freaking Lakers. Just don't go to Golden State. Please don't go to Golden State.
I don't know, man. Him going to the Lakers is also kind of sus, but I guess, better.
Like, I'm tired of Golden State winning. I'm tired of Golden State winning. Lakers haven't won in a while, so I'm okay if the Lakers or the Clippers, whoever wins a lot. They haven't won in a while. Clippers actually have never won ever, so like they get a little dynasty fine. They haven't had that much success, so they can have it. But just don't go to Golden State. They're done. Just let it be done. Like, All right. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for this episode.
Yeah, after our rant-induced episode, we're done.
Yeah. So next Thursday, hoping that we are gonna be in the station, doing the show. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we will be doing the show about an hour long in the radio station. You'll find episodes here on YouTube on the channel.
The good thing is we're not going to be as early in the morning, so it'll be a little easier to catch us on the radio.
Yes, 91.5 KNSU, Thibodeau Local Alternative. If you're out of the Thibodeau home area, it's going to be tough to catch it. But like I said, it's going to be on the YouTube channel. So
that's right.
Boom, there you go. So yeah. And actually, the radio audience don't even know we have a YouTube channel, so we have to announce that. We didn't even announce that to the radio audience. So
yeah,
boom. So yeah, so we're excited. It's been a long time. I'm feeling it. I'm ready. I hope it works out. Nothing stupid happens.
Fingers crossed.
2020, please. Yeah. So. Follow us on Instagram at Sportschat with DJ Matt1. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll be back in the studio next week.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Stay safe, y'all.